It's official, the Texans just lost their defensive cornerstone, and this season may have flipped on its head. An injury at the worst possible time during a crucial game has crushed the momentum and rattled the fanbase, and the fallout goes way beyond one position. Without him, the system breaks down, the strategy shifts, and opponents gain an edge. Stay locked in, we're breaking down exactly what this means. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let us know. Can Houston stay alive in the playoff race without its secondary star? The confirmation came in the third quarter. Stingley Jr., Houston's elite cornerback and defensive cornerstone, was officially ruled out with a rib injury. He had exited early in the second quarter and was initially listed as questionable to return, but it didn't take long before the medical team gave the final word. He was done for the day. And with him out, Houston's chances of stealing a win on the road dipped dramatically. Stingley isn't just another name on the depth chart. He's the lockdown corner every team dreams of and one the Texans already had. In 2024, he played all 17 regular season games and recorded 54 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 18 pass breakups, and 5 interceptions. That earned him first-team All-Pro honors, lining up next to Defensive Player of the Year Patrick Surtain. He's a game-changer, plain and simple. And Houston paid him like one this offseason, handing him a massive 3-year, $90 million extension that made him the second highest-paid cornerback in the league. That's the kind of value we're talking about. That's the kind of loss we're now dealing with. And the timing couldn't have been worse. The Texans were already thin at the position. Rookie corner Jaylon Smith had been placed on injured reserve just days earlier, forcing adjustments in the rotation. Now, without Stingley, the pressure shifts heavily onto Camry Lassiter and Jalen Pitter, both of whom came into Week 3 nursing their own injuries. Tremon Smith, originally the CB3, was thrust into a primary role immediately. To make matters even more complicated, the Texans had elevated 2 players from the practice squad before kickoff, veterans Miles Bryant and D'Angelo Ross, just to have enough bodies. After Stingley's injury, those 2 found themselves taking on real defensive snaps in a game that mattered, and you could see the impact right away. Without their top corner, the Texans' secondary looked exposed. Communication became more difficult. Matchups favored Jacksonville's receivers. And that looming confidence Stingley brings, the kind that shuts down half the field, vanished. To be clear, Stingley had been playing at a high level through the first 2 weeks. He had 7 tackles and 2 pass breakups in matchups against top-tier receivers like Mike Evans and Puka Nacua. Quarterbacks had already started to avoid throwing his way. That's what elite corners do, they tilt the field. Now, the Texans are going to need a full-on adjustment. Head coach DeMeco Ryans spoke calmly after the game, but the concern in his tone was unmistakable. He's one of our anchors. We're going to wait for the imaging and updates from the medical staff, but of course this is a tough one, Ryans said. Stingley will undergo imaging over the next 24 to 48 hours. Rib injuries are notoriously tricky. If it's just bruising, he might be able to suit up with extra padding and pain management. But if there's any fracture, even a hairline, the recovery could take weeks, especially if there's risk of re-injury. And if he's out for any significant stretch of time, the Texans will have to retool their defensive scheme. Stingley gives the team the freedom to play aggressive man coverage, to disguise blitzes, to play faster and with more risk. Without him, the defense may be forced to play softer, more conservative zone looks. And that changes everything, from pass rush timing to third down packages to red zone strategy. This comes at a critical moment in the Texans' season. They dropped their first 2 games by a combined 6 points. They were close, a late fumble against the Rams and a failed stop against Tampa in crunch time. This team isn't playing poorly. They just haven't figured out how to close. And losing their best defensive player could be the final straw between being competitive and being forgettable. The AFC South is always tight, and Houston was hoping to make a statement in Jacksonville. Instead, they may be forced to redefine themselves. What was supposed to be a measuring stick game may now go down as a turning point, and not in a good way. With a schedule full of division matchups and elite offenses on the horizon, the pressure now falls on the rest of the defense. Will Anderson Jr., who has been a monster through 2 weeks, spoke with urgency after the game, losing Derek Hurts. That's the truth, but this defense is bigger than one guy. We're going to respond, and we're going to respond now. Texans fans now wait, holding their breath, hoping for good news from the MRI room. Because without Stingley Jr., everything changes. Not just the depth chart, not just the coverage scheme, but maybe, just maybe, the entire trajectory of the 2025 season. So here's the question. Can the Texans stay in the playoff hunt without Stingley Jr.? Or is this the injury that breaks their season? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on your team. Because in the NFL, one injury can change everything, and that moment might have happened today.